What fuels the First Lady thirsts and cravings? Imagine starting your day like royalty. For the First Lady, her mornings aren't just about elegance. They're carefully curated to fuel her demanding schedule. You may think it's all about discipline, but wait until you hear about the indulgences she allows herself when no one's looking. Today, we're giving you a peek into her surprisingly balanced diet, from luxurious healthy plates to those guilty pleasures she just can't resist. Ready to dig in? The First Lady's Royal Breakfast Ritual. The First Lady's morning really gets underway with a breakfast that fully embodies the spirit of her title, a health-opulence hybrid, if you will. So, envision a bowl of fresh, organic berries, sourced from some local farmer's market, perhaps nestled in a bed of creamy, protein-laden Greek yogurt. Delicious, right? Yet that's not all. Along with this comes the serving of perfectly scrambled eggs, cooking them just right, and mostly a slice of multigrain toast to get that boost of fiber. Each bite, indeed full of flavor, but also filled with the nutrients she needs to be on her toes with her fast-moving life. But now, here is where it gets interesting. While the First Lady's breakfast is surely health-conscious, it is not without its indulgences. Take, for example, her coffee. She settles on a rich espresso brewed to perfection, but with a twist. A splash of coconut milk adds that creamy finish. And sometimes she sweetens it with just a hint of honey. Organic, tasty, and healthy. Suddenly you can feel just how breakfast hovers between self-denial and pampering, can't you? But what makes this meal special is not just what's on her plate, but the way she enjoys it. Many times her breakfast is a moment of reflection, a time when she gets to sit down, breathe, and prepare her mind for the day ahead. And fresher juice. It may be a glass of cold-pressed green juice with spinach, kale, and apple in it, or it could be energetic orange juice full of vitamin C. One way or another, hydration is an irreplaceable part of her morning routine. Want to know what she does every morning? All right, let me show you a sneak peek. This healthy start is quite often followed by something one would least expect. Indeed, she keeps her balanced meals up, but let's put it this way. Pre-lunch, there's probably something hiding in the kitchen that one wouldn't expect. Perhaps sweet, perhaps savory. Whichever it is, it will surprise you. And what about that favorite power drink of hers that keeps her going long after breakfast is over? You won't believe what she drinks to keep her energy up with no sacrifice to taste or health. But we'll get to that later. First, there's much more on her plate, literally and figuratively, as we delve deeper into her daily eats. Now one may wonder, does this frugal yet elaborate breakfast keep her going all the way to lunch? The answer may really surprise you, and it is not a yes or no affair. Keep watching to find out with twists in her diet as we reveal what happens when the First Lady lets herself indulge just a little more, satisfying her mid-morning cravings. With a power-packed breakfast, the day doesn't let up one iota. Neither does her approach to healthy eating. When mid-morning rolls around, her body just needs that little extra fuel, but nothing too heavy. Enter mid-morning snack perfectly balanced between light and luxurious. Now picture her reaching for a small handful of heart-healthy almonds or walnuts, packed with omega-3 fatty acids and just the right amount of crunch to keep her going. Of course, it is not all about the nuts. At times, her mid-morning snacking is a smooth and creamy Greek yogurt. Besides being a powerhouse of protein, she often sprinkles into them some chia seeds or fresh fruits like raspberries and blueberries, antioxidant-rich and brimming with flavor, and of course the refreshing beverage that quite often accompanies it. Whether it's coconut water to hydrate or a freshly squeezed green juice, this snack is all about keeping things light, energizing, and full of goodness. But here's where things get even more interesting. While usually hooked on healthy, nutrient-dense foods, the First Lady isn't totally impervious to indulgence. Supposedly, she does allow herself something a little more decadent every now and then. Is it a small piece of rich, velvety dark chocolate that is high in antioxidants and an amount just worth indulging? Or maybe, just maybe, she sneaks in a buttery croissant, carefully balanced with her otherwise wholesome choices. But that's not the full story yet. You'll have to wait for the next part to uncover what really tempts her taste buds. Clearly, even when it comes to snacks, the First Lady doesn't just mindlessly munch on. There is a purpose with every chunk. Sometimes, it may be to boost her brain power, and at other times, it's to keep her skin aglow, but there is a way to achieve it. While she's careful to keep her snacks light and nutritious, she also knows how to balance health with pleasure. You might wonder, how does she keep up this discipline amidst her whirlwind of responsibilities? It's all about structure, but with a little room for flexibility. And it is just that flexibility which really allows her to give in to those rare, guilty pleasures with absolutely no regrets. So, is she guilt-free with her choices? Not exactly. There's a sweet side begging to come out, one that might surprise you and make her a little more relatable. After all, even the First Lady needs a treat every now and then. Next up, lunch, where the norm seems to be balance and grace. Lunch with a twist, surprising picks. When it comes to lunch, the First Lady's plate is not just balanced, it's a work of art. Imagine a plate that speaks of her sophistication, yet remains approachable and attentive to the needs of the body. A delicate array of leafy greens, perhaps arugula and spinach, comprises the base. But this is no ordinary salad. Oh no, it's drizzled with a zesty lemon vinaigrette complemented by the subtle crunch of toasted pine nuts. Add to that a perfectly grilled piece of salmon or lean chicken, seasoned with herbs that seem to whisper refinement, rosemary or thyme, plucked fresh out of a garden. Well, this is just the beginning. From the First Lady, seasonal and sustainably sourced vegetables bring a rainbow to the table in both flavor and color. Whether it is roasted Brussels sprouts or sautéed asparagus in the spring, meals are a tribute to nature's freshest produce. And that doesn't even end with the vegetables. Think grains. Quinoa or farro, for example, find their places on her plate, supplying the balance of carbohydrates to maintain her energy high during the most exhausting moments. Elegance meets practicality in this well-thought-out combination of nutrient-rich ingredients. Of course, it is not only a matter of what is on her plate, but with whom she is sharing. The lunch of the First Lady often has something of a touch of grandeur, especially when this woman hosts VIP guests. Just think about the nicely set table where diplomats from different countries or key political figures assemble to discuss everything that concerns global politics, while also enjoying this meal so perfectly prepared. It would appear that in every bite and in every single dish, the diplomatic care of the day-to-day duties is put into practice. Yet as important as lunch can be, she never forgets her roots. Family lunches will always have a special place. When official duties allow her the time, she delights in small groups consisting of her nearest and dearest. This time is filled with peals of laughter, stories being related over newly prepared food. It's in these quieter moments that her personality really comes alive, where she can revel in the joys of simplicity, even while indulging in some of the most gourmet offerings. But hang on, don't get too comfortable in this balanced narrative. There's more to her lunch than meets the eye. While she may stick to eating clean at home, what does she eat when she travels? Here's where the plot thickens. It is said that on foreign soil, she plunges head-on into local cuisines, rich Italian pasta or equally rich Indian curry, whose spiciness turns her lunch less ordinary. These are those moments when her plate tells a different story, one of adventure, discovery, and sometimes even indulgence. But any guesses as to what other culinary wonders she might adopt in her journeys? Keep watching, because the next thing she eats may just surprise you. One thing is for sure, even her lunches leave you wanting more. The secret afternoon treats you won't believe. Afternoons are seemingly the time to fall back into a rhythm, but the First Lady has a delicious secret during this part of the day. As much as her mornings and lunches are about poise and balance, when afternoon arrives, so does a hankering for something a bit more hedonistic. You think she's above guilty pleasures? Think again. Let's start with a snack that even catches her closest aides off guard. Crispy golden French fries. Yes, you heard that right. As health-conscious as the First Lady is, she is also quite famous for sneaking in an odd plate of potatoes fried to perfection, just salted enough to give in to that one indulging bite she rarely talks about. Why not? Even the healthiest of us need that one snack which satiates our soul rather than the stomach. But it does not stop with the French fries. Some might say she has a weakness for rich, creamy ice cream chocolate if one is getting specific. No ordinary scoop, though. The word is her favored treat hails from a small, exclusive artisanal shop whose flavors are as refined as her tastes. One scoop on a warm afternoon, and just like that, she has given herself permission to have a sweet indulgence. But it isn't about breaking the rules of her usual diet. It is about maintaining balance, allowing room for a little luxury in the day-to-day grind. Being a first lady, of course, it isn't about fast food or an ice cream cone off the truck. Of course, her indulgences can be upscale and rare, too. Think of the time that she made an unannounced stop at a famous restaurant during a state visit. She didn't just go for the photo opportunity. The word is that she had one of their signature dishes, maybe some really decadent truffle pasta, or a world-famous dessert. Even in those moments, her tastes remain exquisite, but with that ever-present touch of normalcy we all crave. But there's one indulgence that stands above all the rest, a signature dessert she makes at home, or has ordered along the highways. Word's gotten out that she particularly favors one comfort food chocolate soufflé. Light, airy, and richly decadent in flavor, the dessert sums up everything she shoots for in a treat: elegance, flavor, and just that smidgen of the unexpected to make things interesting. Now, you're probably thinking, does that mean that the First Lady has these delicacies day in and day out? Well, just about. They remain occasional luxuries, enjoyed in those moments when the pressures of the day lift and she can just taste. But isn't that what makes them all the more special? And then, of course, there's dinner, possibly the most indulgent meal yet. What could dinner possibly hold for such a wide-ranging palate? Gourmet evenings. What's on her dinner table tonight? When the day winds down and evening sets in, dinner served for the First Lady is truly the epitome of her life. Refined and sophisticated, yet eclectically delightful. It is no secret that many of her dinners are so prepared by world-class chefs hand-picked for their culinary mastery. Dinner can almost be imagined less as a meal but more of an event. The table settings, soft lighting, and absolutely mouth-watering aromas. Her dinner plates resembled more what a United Nations gathering on plates would look like, with great love for Mediterranean cuisine. Think olive oil-drizzled dishes, fresh fish, vibrant greens, and maybe a side of couscous or quinoa. It is not just about the ingredients, though. It is actually how they all come together that makes meals stand apart. She likes meals light and full of flavor so that she doesn't end the day feeling full but balanced. Grilled branzino with lemon and herbs, a fresh Greek salad? Perfect. The burst of citrus, the crunch of the greens, just about keeping it fresh, keeping it clean, but never boring. And when it comes to dinner, it's not just about what's on the plate. The First Lady dines in experiences that are as intimate as they are grand, whether during state dinners or family gatherings. A table set with candles, fine china, and conversations spanning global politics down to personal stories. Whether she sits for dinner with international leaders or in quiet evening moments with her family, the atmosphere is just as important as the food. Of course, even the most well-oiled dinner would experience its share of surprises. While she is known to love Mediterranean and healthy dishes, there was something a little different with her foodie preferences. As it would turn out, she had cravings once in a while for something way more comforting. Think homemade pasta or a beautifully made pizza straight out of an Italian wood-fired oven. Yes, even the First Lady isn't immune to the irresistible pull of a cheesy, indulgent slice every now and then. Well, as scrumptious as her dinners sometimes can be, there is indeed one secret ritual that follows it, and one perhaps not even her closest friends see coming. Just as the last plate is cleared, the conversation faded, and the evening wrapped up, she allows herself a little something playful, that late-night treat which balances her otherwise disciplined approach to food. Want to know what this is? Let's just say it is one delightfully surprising thing reflecting her fun and indulgent side, that once again shows even the most disciplined routines have a spot for just a little naughtiness. But what could this indulgence be, which takes her from Mediterranean queen to playful night owl? Keep watching, as what happens after hours will leave your taste buds coveting a taste of her lifestyle. Late night sweet tooth. Once the day is finally done and the lights in the White House go down, there's one final moment of culinary indulgence for the First Lady. After a day filled with aesthetically appealing meals, balanced nutrition, and the occasional gourmet delight, you'd think she's ready to call it a night, right? Not quite. Here's where things get fun. Our ever-elegant First Lady has a surprisingly sweet tooth. Yes, not considering her otherwise disciplined approach to her diet, a secret ritual closes her day to perfection, a late-night treat that is comforting and unexpected. And so, what does she reach for when nobody's looking? Chocolate. And not just any chocolate. She's known for having a particular weakness for rich, artisanal dark chocolate sourced from some of the finest chocolatiers in the world. Whether it was the silky truffle or a bite of the decadent dark chocolate bar, this is her little luxury after hours. Surprises don't cease there. While dark chocolate may be the one the waitress relies upon, there's a whispered rumor that sometimes even she needs something just a little warm and comforting. How about freshly baked cookies? Yes, you heard that right. Nothing smells quite as great as chocolate chip cookies wafting through the kitchen late at night. It is said that on those nights when she is feeling particularly indulgent, she will sneak into the kitchen and have this warm, gooey cookie or two along with a cup of herbal tea. And let's be realistic. Who would not want that after a long day of bustling activities? Of course, it is the contrast that makes this fun. A woman who, throughout the day, eats light, healthy food, exquisitely prepared, ending her evening with the common pleasure of a cookie and chocolate. There is something playful to this excess that makes her almost familiar. Who doesn't have just a bit of sweet at the end of the day? But here's the better part. With all these little indulgences, the First Lady still manages to keep an impeccably toned physique. Now the question is, how does she do it? This is where it gets really tricky. A concealed workout routine? A strict post-indulgence ritual? Or is it just a matter of balance? We may not have all the answers yet, but for sure she has mastered the art of enjoying life's pleasures without ever going overboard. What does this midnight snack say about the First Lady? It says she's human, just like the rest of us. Beneath that perfect picture is a woman who can enjoy even the little pleasures. And it is these guilty pleasures that make her not only a profile of grace, but very much like us all. And there you have it, a day in the culinary life of the First Lady. From healthy power meals to indulgent late-night treats, she balances it all with elegance. But how does she manage to stay so fit while enjoying these indulgences? Stay tuned, because in our next video, we'll uncover her secret fitness routines that keep her in tip-top shape. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more insider looks at her lifestyle.